For years, Artemis III was supposed to be the mission that would return humans to the moon. The mission that would place astronauts back on the lunar surface for the first time since Apollo 17 in 1972. But now, NASA has officially revealed the Artemis III crew. And the story is not what most people expected. Because while millions of people were waiting to hear who would walk on the moon, NASA has made a major change to its plans. A change that could reshape the entire future of lunar exploration. So who are the astronauts chosen for one of the most important missions of the century? Why won't they actually land on the moon? And what exactly is NASA preparing for in 2027? Let's find out that on June 9, 2026, NASA officially announced the Artemis III crew. The astronauts selected for this historic mission are Randy Bresnik, serving as commander, Luca Parmitano from the European Space Agency, serving as pilot, Frank Rubio, serving as mission specialist, and Andre Douglas, serving as mission specialist. Each of these astronauts brings years of experience. Together, they represent one of the most international crews NASA has ever assembled for a deep space mission. The announcement immediately generated excitement around the world. But shortly after the celebration came a surprise. Because Artemis III is no longer the mission many people thought it would be. The big twist. For years, Artemis III was described as the mission that would land humans on the moon. That is no longer the plan. NASA has revised the mission architecture. Instead of attempting a lunar landing, Artemis III will focus on testing critical systems in Earth orbit. The primary objective is to demonstrate that Orion can successfully interact with the lunar landing systems being developed by both SpaceX and Blue Origin. This may sound disappointing, but from NASA's perspective, it is a necessary step. Because landing astronauts on the moon is one of the most complex operations ever attempted. Every system must function perfectly. Lives depend on it. NASA has chosen caution over speed. Why NASA changed the plan? The answer comes down to technology. The Artemis program relies on several completely new spacecraft. The Orion capsule, the SLS rocket, SpaceX's Starship human landing system, Blue Origin's Blue Moon lander. All of these systems must work together flawlessly. A single failure could jeopardize the entire mission. NASA understands this better than anyone. The agency still remembers the lessons of Apollo. It also remembers tragedies like Challenger and Columbia. Today, safety comes first. Before sending astronauts hundreds of thousands of kilometers from Earth to land on another world, NASA wants proof that every component works as expected. Artemis III will provide that proof. What will the crew actually do? Although Artemis III will not land on the moon, it remains one of the most important missions of the decade. The crew will test docking procedures. They will practice mission operations. They will evaluate systems that future lunar crews will depend on. Engineers will collect enormous amounts of data. Every maneuver, every communication, every system check, every piece of information gathered during Artemis III will help reduce risk for future missions. Think of it as a dress rehearsal for humanity's return to the lunar surface. A dress rehearsal taking place in space. Why this mission matters? Some people may ask, if they're not landing on the moon, why is this mission important? The answer is simple. Because the success of Artemis III could determine the success of every mission that follows. Space exploration is built on testing. Apollo succeeded because NASA carefully verified every step. The same philosophy applies today. The Artemis program is not just about reaching the moon. It is about creating a sustainable presence there. That requires patience. And patience often means conducting missions that are less dramatic but absolutely essential. The road to Artemis IV. According to NASA's current plans, the first Artemis mission expected to place astronauts back on the lunar surface is Artemis IV. That mission is currently targeted for 2028. If successful, it would mark humanity's first lunar landing in more than half a century. The astronauts who eventually walk on the moon will benefit directly from everything learned during Artemis III. Every test, every procedure, every lesson. Artemis III is helping build the bridge to that moment. The moon's south pole. When astronauts finally return to the lunar surface, They will not land where Apollo landed. NASA is targeting the Moon's south pole. This region has become one of the most exciting locations in the solar system. Scientists believe vast amounts of frozen water may exist there. Water means oxygen. Water means fuel. Water means long-term survival. If these resources can be utilized, future lunar bases become far more realistic. The South Pole could become humanity's first permanent foothold on another world. A step toward Mars. The Artemis program is ultimately about more than the Moon. NASA views the Moon as a training ground, a place where astronauts can learn how to survive far from Earth. The technologies developed through Artemis may one day support missions to Mars. Every habitat, every life support system, every landing technology, all of it contributes to humanity's long-term future in space. Artemis III is one more step on that journey. Conclusion. NASA has officially revealed the Artemis III crew. Randy Bresnik, Luca Parmitano, Frank Rubio, and Andre Douglas. But the biggest surprise isn't who was selected. It's what the mission has become. Instead of landing on the Moon, Artemis III will focus on proving the systems that future lunar explorers will rely on. It may not be the dramatic Moon landing many expected, but it could be one of the most important missions of the entire Artemis era. Because before humanity can return to the lunar surface, it must first prove that everything is ready. And in 2027, the world will be watching to see whether Artemis III can successfully pave the way for the next giant leap in human exploration.